Hi, guys, and welcome back. This is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking. The man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying and tired villain in all of YouTube verse. I got off of the third shift, and I said to myself, I said, Zod, how are you going to do a morning stream right now in your fragile condition, in your frazzled state of mind? And then I realized I am powered and fueled by anger. Lots and lots of anger. What's up, Stone Cold Jeremy? What's up, Timon? So, my anger is powering me through this whole morning talk that I'm going to have. And I was thinking to myself, as I'm reading some articles, what's up? Or of peace, good to have you. I was thinking to myself, what am I going to talk about this morning? And then I saw this article, and I was just going to come out and it was going to blast these Zack Snyder fans, these hashtag bring the Snyder Cut back fans for the can of worms that they have unleashed upon the world by giving this man his own movie. But I said, no, Zod, I'm not going to do that because these guys, they get flustered, they start attacking. So I'm going to try a different approach for this. And I'm going to tell you guys a story from Zod's past, when Zod was a young dictator, when Zod lived in your Earth city of New York, right? After Krypton, when I got sent here, right? Went to New York, and I had a hustler friend. Yeah, I know, right? I know, Stone Cold Jeremy, I know. Don't worry, I'm gonna get my sleepy ass to bed, but we do need to talk. I needed to rap, and I needed to get this out here. So, anyways, I was a, a young a youngster, a young general in New York. And I had a friend. And if you've ever been to New York, there's a card shuffling trick that these street dealers do. I would say a street dealer could make more money off of you than Vegas itself. And they used to have this game called Hide the Queen, right? They show you three cards, and you got to pick which one is the queen, right? And my friend, he used to have all of this money stacked up. Right? He could easily make down in the subway, $300-400 off of these people, right? And what he would do is he would do this all day, and I'd watch him and I'd go, I ain't never fucking spending money on this. I know there's a trick of some sort, but I need you to tell me what's the secret. Do you pocket the fucking queen? Why does nobody ever get the queen? Right? So my friend looks at me and he goes to me, he says, Zod, the queen was never there. And I swore I would never say his name because I don't want to knock anyone's hustle. That kind of hustle I don't mind. Grew up with it. In a way, you learn to respect it. And certain parts of what Zack Snyder's doing, I can respect. The street part of me can respect a man hustling the shit out of a studio. I've got to give someone credit who's willing to swindle a studio, but he's also swindling the fans. Okay? And why I bring up Zack Snyder and Amber Heard in the same sentence is a weird connection. It's a weird dynamic, a weird thing that I've uncovered through various sources. And I couldn't believe it. It made me a little agitated. It prompted me enough to want to stream to you at 7 in the morning, my time. Because Warner has become probably worse than Disney. I never thought I'd say it. I never thought I'd fucking say there's a company that might just be slightly worse than Disney. Because I'm a fan of Star Wars, and I've watched them systematically destroy Star Wars and every childhood movie I love. But what Warner's is doing is on a whole nother level of fuckery I can't put into words for you. And now Zack Snyder's getting in there that fuckery. Now, I let a lot of things go on Justice League, folks. I let a lot of things go. The whole Ray Fisher thing, even though I'm a fan of Josh Whedon, I let it go. Okay? The designs and some of the choices and the glossy look that everyone's being fooled by, I let it go. I said, you know what? You know what? I'm a fan of Zack. I'm a reviewer. I am going to review something with fairness. And Kamikaze Cobra, welcome. I know, Kama. I need to go to bed too eventually. But let me tell you what I found out. Now, if you guys don't know, I've been covering this Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing, and I've been covering it because I started covering the WWE, and me and my father had exposed a abusive relationship between young boys and employers, and it disgusted me and made me want to do something. And then I was with my good buddy Stevie, and he was telling me about this, and I started looking into it, and I realized there's a pattern because I love entertainment. This pattern is bigger than Johnny Depp. This pattern is everyone like Johnny Depp being destroyed. Being destroyed because Hollywood needs to sacrifice lambs to the slaughter. They're even sacrificing legacy actors to the slaughter so that they can prop up these other actors. And I figured it out. Why are they pushing Amber Heard? Why the fuck do I see Amber Heard in everything? I asked myself. What does she got? I mean, is she a Brie Larson? Does she piss me off on that level? Yes and no. But what is it that studios just want this woman in their fucking productions? It boggled me. And then I realized it all clicked after I read this with Zack Snyder. It made sense to me. It is because the good actors, the Kevin Costners, the Matthew McConaughey's, okay, all of the legacy actors, they cost too much money. They cost too much money, and Amber Heard and all of them, they cost less. See, this isn't about taking sides. They're throwing in their hat with the cheapest cost, much as like what businesses do. Do you think Warner Brothers gives a shit about this domestic beef? Do you think they give a shit about the Me Too movement? Do you think they give even a shit about us fans? No. Like Disney and like other production companies, but on a higher level, they want money. And I'm going to read some articles of why and how Johnny Depp's winning and Warner Bros. Is losing. And I'm going to explain that too. But in this first article I read, and I'm not going to go over the whole thing because we got this covered, but the source in it is a source who called the Martian Manhunter thing. And then a couple days later, we got that horrendous picture from Zack Snyder. So this seems to be legit. Now, everyone was excited because the Snyder Cut added 4 extra minutes of footage. I couldn't wait. That 4 extra minutes was going to be the thing that swayed my opinion on the Justice League Snyder Cut. No, it wasn't, but I was curious. And now they are using Amber Heard in that extra 4 minutes. Yes, folks, all of you people who love seeing Mera, that plank of wood who was in Aquaman, she gets 4 extra minutes. And you know who they're removing from the scene? Aquaman. They're taking out Jason Momoa and they're putting in Amber Heard. They're giving her an extended scene. Why? What does her character add? Now, according to the article, they want to add depth, okay? They want to add some substance to Aquaman and Mera's relationship. And yes, thank you. Thank you, comma. That is the exact point. Kamikaze Cobra says, yeah, I knew they've been in debt. In a recession, would you rather pay Amber peanuts or Johnny King's ransom? Exactly. You got it down, comma. Kamikaze knows what the deal is, right? And this doesn't frustrate me because of the fact that they're going the girl power angle. I am upset because they are doubling down on a losing horse. You know, this progressive Me Too bullshit has been going on since 2016. I remember because Ghostbusters came out. I track every horrible decision from that day on. I mean, it was slowly coming, but that's when it's reached its height. Just think about this. If you're not in this whole Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp thing, right? Just think about this. They removed the male from the scene and they put the female that no one gives a fuck about. They're talking about giving Amber Heard a spinoff. I mean, Warner Bros. Is doubling down like no one I've ever seen. And here is the funny part. This is the part Zod is waiting for. I am waiting for when she loses in court. I pray. I don't pray often. I don't pray to earth gods, but I've prayed to numerous earth gods, and I've said, Lord up high, please, please let Amber Heard lose this case. Because when all of these fucking productions come out, when all of these movies come out, when all of these scenes get added into these movies, and this bitch is exposed, I want to see the damage control because it is going to be fucking glorious. It is going. Warner Bros. Right now is doubling down on several very poor things. And I didn't know much about this, and I went on Ethan Van Sciver's channel. He's great. He handles comic book stuff, right? And it didn't occur to me the connection that Marvel and Disney and Warner Bros. And DC have, and what exactly they're doing in that field. They have literally gutted and pimped that industry out. They have destroyed the comic book industry as we know it, and no one's talked about it. Now, granted, Ethan's on that side of the fence, right? He talks about those things, Comicsgate and all that, right? But I read comics, and it never occurred to me just how fucked up this company actually is. Like what they're doing to these industries. And the fact is they're not making money off of this. They're gutting and destroying and laying off and firing millions of talented artists and bringing in these liberal, fucked up SJW writers and destroying the comic industry from the inside out. It's a cancerous gangrene infecting everything. You know, this is really, really disgusting and sad. And look, I know a lot of people like Mera, but let's be real. You don't remember anything she said. You don't remember the character. If you're a male, you remember Amber Heard in a red wig and that suit. If you're a female, you just watched Aquaman for Jason Momoa. Let's just lay our cards on the table, okay? I'm gonna be honest with you. I remember a little bit of that movie, okay? I remember it had cool visuals, like the thing with the trench, okay? That was pretty nifty. I like the big battle with Ocean Master and Aquaman. But aside from that, really nothing stood out. And I can definitely tell you Mera was not a highlight for me. That movie was really held up by Jason Momoa. And he's not even that strong of an actor. But here's the thing. Momoa is good at being Momoa. Momoa is very charismatic and fucking likable. I like the guy. I like him. Let me read this from Kamikaze. He's just dropping all sorts of stuff. Love having you, Kama. Thank you for being back. I know I'm streaming earlier, so you can catch me. He says, let's be fair. HBO, WB didn't make these movies. This is all coming straight from AT&T execs making power play from Disney. Yeah, I understand that aspect, but Warner's is making that decision. And I got the two people that I'm going to share with you that Ethan highlighted, and I found the article. It was an inverse article. These two are the head of Warner, but they've made a deal with the devil, with AT&T. Okay? They're all in it together. These people are all in cahoots. They're all, and I'm not saying the people working in the industry, but the high ups are all equally fucking these products. It's not just one person. I wish there was one person to lay the blame on. I wish I could even lay this on Amber Heard, but Amber Heard is just taking advantage of the situation. She's riding the wave, right? And from what I hear, she's going to jump ship to MCU. If there's one thing I can give her, she knows one very important thing. This backlash is going to hit hard. Some things are going to come out, and she needs a safety net and needs to make a shit ton of money before it all happens. And that is what she's doing. She's collecting every fucking check she can before the hammer comes down. But I want to read to you because I showed on my thumbnail a graph, an HBO on the fucking bottom of it. You're probably going, Zod, what's going on? Let me read some stats to you guys and lay down some truth about what's going on with Warner Bros. No, I can't get behind Elliot Page. Jesus Christ. You know, I'm going to do a video on that. That's a whole separate discussion. But, you know, I guess being gay isn't enough now. You got to really go for it. So, here, let me pull up some articles here. All right, so if you guys don't know, one of my favorite directors is Christopher Nolan, and he's recently come out about this. Now, AT&T / Warner Bros., whatever the fuck they got going on, Evil Inc., has said they're releasing their movies streaming side by side with theaters. Now, I hate this because on the one hand, I think it's less shady than what Disney did. Disney did this but charged their streamers an extra $30 to watch a movie. Fucking Mulan. And then it became free, which is the biggest slap in the face to the consumer. Like, Disney bent the consumer over and had its way with them. Okay? It was disgusting. But what Warner's Bros. Is doing is beyond that, because they're promoting an abuser and they're making all sorts of decisions that I can't possibly fathom in my mind. Like, I try to think of this from a business sense, and it makes no fucking sense whatsoever. So, I'm going to read to you what Christopher Nolan said, because I think Christopher Nolan put into words this quite well. And I love Christopher Nolan. He's a little salty, and he has a right to be. And then I'm going to read you from Warner Bros. Own actors who are frustrated because Warner Bros. Is not only fucking over the consumer, but they're also fucking over their actors simultaneously. This is some genius level evil shit. Okay? So let's read this article by Christopher Nolan talking about how bad this deal is. So AT&T and HBO's Max is the worst streaming service, director Christopher Nolan says. Ooh, Tenet director getting real. This ain't no Inception, baby. The Tenet director slammed HBO's plan to stream Warner Bros. 2021 movies the same day they hit theaters. AT&T CEO calls the backlash a lot of noise. Tenet director Christopher Nolan Monday condemned AT&T's plan to stream all of Warner Bros. New movies through 2021 on HBO Max same day they hit the theaters. But on Tuesday, the CEO called the backlash, like Nolan, a lot of noise. Nolan, who's known for being especially protective of the theatrical experience in film, said in a statement to the Hollywood Reporter that Warner Bros. Strategy is dysfunctional and that it's all better the studio's relationship with filmmakers and talent. Some of our industry's biggest filmmakers and most important movie stars went to bed the night before thinking they were working for the greatest movie studio and woke up to find out they were working for the worst streaming service, he said. Get him, Nolan. Warner Bros. Had incredible machine for getting filmmakers to work out everywhere, both in theaters and in home, and they are dismantling it as we speak. They don't even understand what they're losing. Their decision makes no economic sense, and even most casual Wall Street investor can see the difference between disruption and dysfunction. Nolan has kept a long-running relationship with Warner Bros. Starting in 2005. So he worked for Warner Bros. Since 2005. He made the greatest Batman series ever. I will fight you for that. I mean, I love Tim Burton's Batman, but Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, iconic. Anyways, Tenet. But the sci-fi action thriller was the first Hollywood tentpole film to hit theaters in September during the pandemic shutdown. It generated less than $60 million in the box office. Nolan's 2010 Inception, by comparison, made $2 million domestically. Keep in mind that was domestically, and is going to watch a big screen movie at all. Tenet reportedly lost Warner Bros. $100 million. But Tuesday, AT&T chief exec John Stankey, yes, Stankey, you can't make this shit up, appeared unruffled by the criticisms like Nolan and defended his plan as being the best strategy under extraordinary circumstances. Both AT&T Warner Bros. Are owned by telecom giant, it's WarnerMedia Entertainment Union. I know it's a lot of noise out there that the market is different. People have different points of views, Stanky said on Thursday. I love that name, Stanky, just like the fucking company. Fundamentally, one of the unfortunate effects of the pandemics is basically there's no theatrical expedition business. And painful for a lot of people, Stanky said. Our feelings is a win-win solution. There's a win-win for us. I want to point that out. There's a win for us. There's not a win for the consumer. There's not a win for the directors, the actors. There's a win for them. Okay? That's what us means. It means them, the company, not the people involved. Warner Bros. Decision last week marked the latest series of titanic changes in movie release caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Studios and cinemas have, especially for expensive films like Wonder Woman, Dune, and The Matrix. But Warner Bros.' decision to release the entire year's film slate with theaters in the most seismic shift yet. HBO Max, AT&T, and WarnerMedia streaming service has launched in May, stumbled a bit out of the gate. And I'll read those numbers. As it struggled to get customers to understand the position, HBO Max was hampered by failing to get its app on major streaming devices like Roku, Amazon, and Fire Stick gadgets. In 2021, the top filmmakers in the world, they've got some of the biggest stars in the world who worked for years, in some cases, on these projects very close to their heart that are meant to be big screen experiences. They are meant to be out there to the widest possible audience, and they are being used as a loss leader for a streaming service, for fledging the streaming service out without any consultation, Nolan didn't immediately respond to requests for comments. Nolan didn't respond because Nolan's fucking pissed. Nolan's pissed because he's a great director that was told he's going to get exposure on the screen. He was lied to, but it's not in his contract. He was contracted. They broke their contractual obligation. Let me see what Kamikaze said. Yeah, I hated Mulan. Thank you. He also said, in all honesty, he dropped the ball on Tenet. Even without Rona, it would have flopped. The plot and the actors was cringy. Well, I'm a little iffy on Tenet, but this is the point that I want to make. Warner Bros. Did this, and they not only are releasing these, but simultaneously, and I'll read the next article because it's all connected, they decided to pay their actors less. Okay, so they started these projects, they had these negotiations going on, and they are screwing over people like Keanu Reeves for Matrix, the Wachowskis, everybody, because they're bringing it to streaming. So Warner Bros. Got rid of Johnny, pushed Amber Heard, and they're screwing over their directors and actors in all cards down on streaming. This makes no sense to me. I understand what Disney's doing. I hate it. I don't like it. But it makes a kind of sense. Charging money because they're still using that money to pay people out of. That $30 is a return on investment. Warner Bros. Is not charging extra. And part of me who has the streaming service says, hey, that's good. But then the other end thinks about it. And I read these articles and I realize something. This is the beginning of the end for actors, directors. This is shifting the medium to a whole new medium. And look, I worked in the theater. This is the death of the cinema. We are watching the cinema be destroyed and make way for streaming. Now, me and Perp have had this argument, and I understand some of his points, but they are killing the cinema experience. Warner Bros. Is leading the way in destroying the film industry in a gigantic play to make streaming the one and only way. Folks, this is monopolizing and cornering a market. This is textbook monopolizing the market. I mean, Netflix isn't doing it. They're looking at Netflix, they're looking at Disney, and they're saying, how do we get ahead of the competition? And they aren't looking at the full optics, and they don't give a fuck about the people employed. I mean, this is shady, and a lot of people aren't calling it out. And here's the thing. It's a desperate maneuver. It's desperate because right now their streaming platform has just lost billions of dollars. And I'm going to pull that article up for you in a second. But they've lost billions. Okay? Netflix overall generates about $23 billion a year. It's a lot of fucking money. Okay? It's not a made-up figure. It's a figure that's out there. Think about that. $23 billion. They've been doing it for about 15 years. And now Warner Bros. Wants to jump into that. And like with Marvel, when they were competing with them, they're not taking the steps that Netflix did to build up IPs and get exclusive deals. They're jumping headlong in order to get this money right away. And like what they did with DC and the movie lineup, they're not thinking about the overall result. They're not thinking about how they're treating the actors, the actresses, the fucking camera people. Think about the poor camera guy who works on these sets, the cast and the crew. Not just the actors. Take out the actors for a second. Think about the cast and the crew. The poor camera guy's got a family to feed. And now they can do it all from the studio. They don't need that camera guy. They don't need these productions anymore. This is what Nolan is talking about. I mean, this is the destruction of the cinema. They just are not happy with what they did with Johnny Depp, but they are single-handedly leading the charge to destroy the cinema and to fuck over all these people they've employed simultaneously. Stanky, it stinks. His name is very accurate. It's very accurate. And not just this, they did this to DC Comics. They made everything digital and gutted the industry, and comic book shops across America are closing down. Comic book shops I grew up with, used to go in as a kid, give them my money, was happy to get the newest issue of Batman, right? Superman. I was there for the death of Superman. I got all of the issues and the return of Superman, right? But now what do they have? They've got the daughter of Stargirl coming out, which looks horrendous. They've got plus-size Wonder Woman. They are using politics and SJW nonsense, and they don't care about what the comic book industry is doing because they don't care about comics. They brought it for money, and when it didn't generate revenue, they gutted it and fucking destroyed it. And it's in shambles. You got great comic book artists trying to come together to do fundraisers, to talk to YouTubers and streamers, just to get an interest back in comics. One of my favorite comic book drawers, Todd McFarlane, has single-handedly killed it outside the comic industry by making toys and designing them themselves for the Spawn line. And he's used that money to fund and help small comic book shops to keep them running. The artists, these people don't make a lot of money. He's accumulated wealth through the property, but he's using that to try to keep the comic book industry alive. Even talking about going over to talk with Marvel to get a co-op, to try to save a dying business. And these motherfuckers at Warner don't care one bit. Now, they're doubling down, and let me tell you their projections, okay? Let's see what this great move is going to do. And let's see where HBO Max is right now compared to the other streamers. Okay? So I want to bring up an article here that has to do with HBO Max's numbers. So, the WarnerMedia takes a $1.2 billion revenue hit in hopes HBO Max pays off in the long term. $1.2 billion they've lost. AT&T reports its quarterly earnings in the morning, and the division has lost more than $1 billion. They've lost more than $1 billion due to the investment in HBO Max streaming service. It's preparing that its launch, bringing over IPs like Friends, The Big Bang Theories. It's invested around $4 billion in over just the next few years. HBO Max and HBO are doing this in order to compete with Netflix, Disney Plus, and Apple TV Plus. We delivered a promise in 2019, and we begin the year with a strong momentum into wireless. Our share retirement plan is well underway. AT&T CEO Randall Stephenson said in a report, our 2020 outlook positions us to deliver meaningful progress in a 3-year financial and capital allocation plans as we continue to invest in growth opportunities and create values with our owners as we did the last years. More than $1 billion in revenue lost might not be what investors want to hear, but Stevenson has mapped out how costly HBO Max will be in the interim. Last quarter, Stevenson told investors of HBO Max it's going to be a meaningful business to us over the next 4 to 5 years, but reiterated at an HBO Max event that the company doesn't think HBO will be profitable part of AT&T until 2024 or 2025. And what I would you to feel very comfortable at the investment level is that we can do something very significant in the market to drive some more significant subscriber gains. HBO Max is set to be the workhorse for AT&T and Warner Bros. Video division, according to Stevenson's. Looking at the rest of AT&T's earnings, it's easy to see the company is betting big on cutting the cord, while overall WarnerMedia division, which houses HBO, Turner, and Warner Bros., fell just over 3% revenue to $8.9 billion. There is some subscriber growth. HBO saw a 1.9% increase in revenue thanks to digital subscribers that HBO Now and Go rolled over, while Turner saw just 1.6% increase to its revenue gains. And it goes on to just give a bunch of numbers there, but HBO Max is where they're betting everything. And they're doing a lot of shifty shit and putting all of their hopes into this. And look, I've seen a lot of these streaming services start to die off. Look, the big competitors here that they didn't mention is still Amazon, and Hulu was in this race, but Hulu's kind of owned by Disney at this point. They got a majority stake, so we'll just say that's part of Disney. But Amazon is still a contender. It's still in there, okay? It still has tons of stuff to get. They've got their shipping service, which is the bulk and majority of how they earn their money. So HBO Max is fledgling. They've dropped billions of dollars into this. They've only gained a fraction of that back, and they're not looking to make a gain till 2024 and 2025, or releasing their 2021 slate of movies onto the streaming service in hopes to increase the subscriber gain, while pissing off numerous people with several different controversies going on simultaneously. Okay? You got the Depp and Heard thing. You got directors pissed and actors too, because now there's another scandal that's coming out of Warner Bros. With the actors and actresses. Let us continue on this journey. So, Gal Gadot and Wonder Woman, they made a separate deal with Wonder Woman for her payout. Gal Gadot's payout for Wonder Woman 1984 causes a conflict with agents for Margot Robbie and others. Now, Margot Robbie has pissed me off lately, so that isn't the big one. But my boy Keanu took a hit, and I love Keanu Reeves. If you've been on the channel, you know I love John Wick. Anyways, the pandemic and the hardships has cost billions for people, blah, blah, blah. There's financial stress in the multi-billion industry. Warner Bros. Is currently the most predominant entertainment company in news and streaming right now. The upcoming release for Wonder Woman 1984 arrives this holidays, but after breaking the news of its entire slate going in 2021, simultaneously releasing in theaters and on HBO Max, this is sure to bring a major blow to the company's finances, similarly to every major studio and business that will undoubtedly bring issues of incredibly tough to resolve in this day and age. One of these issues has just come to light with news reporting details of some tough choices Warner Bros. Recently made, along with how it might affect some huge names associated with the movie mogul. According to new excerpts in the New York Times, Warner Bros. Decided to pay Wonder Woman 1984 directors Patty Jenkins and actress Gal Gadot the sum of over $10 million due to the film not receiving its typical theatrical run. Now, are they going to do this for other people? Well, here is your answer. HBO Max and in theaters concurrently, it will lose money. This movie reportedly left representations for many Warner Bros. Notable stars, including stars Margot Robbie, Angelina Jolie, Keanu Reeves, Will Smith, who were all confused and upset that at the supposed preferential treatment for Gadot. This news led to rumors a complete boycott against Warner Bros. From these agents and the stars that they represent. What does this mean? Even though the state of world affairs forced Warner Bros. Into a difficult situation, this news is revealing a lot of trouble behind the scenes dealing with movie fans that you don't usually hear about. Considering Wonder Woman 1984 is Warner Bros. Highest profile release, it would make sense for both Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot to get taken care of for their work, especially since the film has faced delays long before the worldwide shutdown. However, these two stars are the only ones compensated in this matter. It could certainly cause tension to boil over among the rest of the company's prominent personalities. Now Warner Bros. Entire slate is released alongside with this theatrical premieres. It's a mystery whether the company plans to compensate some of their big names going forward. The entertainment giant has Suicide Squad with Margot Robbie. They have the anticipated Dune. They have Spaceland Jam Legacy and Matrix 4 and fans will be keeping close eyes on the craziness as it resolves itself in the coming months. So all of those other properties that they have, they only paid them. And look, I understand paying for Wonder Woman 1984, but to be fair, that had delays before the pandemic from the director. Yet they got compensated. These movies were already done and slated to come out. Now, is it because they were done and had no production issues, they won't get compensated? If I was Keanu Reeves or Angelina Jolie or anyone else who works for Warner Bros., I'd be fucking pissed. I would be furious. Because this, like many of the other moves they've done, shows clear favoritism to one side and not the other. There's so much shit going on behind the scenes. This is crazy. It makes no sense to me. And if they're going to compensate everyone, they're going to lose more money. On top of the 1.2 billion they're already losing, that they're not going to see a profit on until 2024, 2025. I mean, at least Disney is fucking turning a profit. Disney just released before the pandemic the biggest movie of all time. They can sit on it a little bit. I mean, their theme parks are taking a hit, but their movie studio's doing gangbusters. Mandalorian is holding them steady. They already greenlit the fucking spinoffs like no one's business. But Warner Bros. Is new at the game, and they are pissing off their stars and the directors and the agents who represent them. We're talking about there is going to be an all-out boycott from agents and their stars and the productions. If that happens, it doesn't matter if these are released to HBO or not, because no one's going to fucking work. That's bad because these stars know they're going to take a cut for their paycheck already. But fuck it, I agree with them. This isn't them being prima donnas. You pay this group over here, but you leave all of this other shit that's coming out just up in the air. You don't even have the decency to call your actors and directors and go, hey, look, Wonder Woman had delays, setbacks, whatever. They've been waiting. We're going to pay them their $10 million. But don't worry, we got you. We're going to release these slates, but just wait a second. We got you. They didn't call no one before they did this. They didn't have the common courtesy or the decency to call anyone and tell them anything. These actors, these directors heard the news with us. Just think about that for a second. Even if you don't like how Hollywood is, these stars are prima donnas, whatever, that is fucked up. That is fucked up on a level that I can't put into words. These are people who have produced hits for you, that have made money for you, and you just leave them out in the cold. That's what it appears like to me. They have officially fucking pissed off everyone in this company. And I really want to know what the damage control is for this. I mean, on the Fantastic Beast end, you already had delays there, and then you just replace that actor and you leave poor Mads Mikkelsen to come out there, make statements, take backlash, and not even prepare shit for him. And then you screw over the rest of your films, the people making them, the cast and crew. Dune is an expensive movie. Have you seen the previews for that? I've been excited about this movie. They got some pretty good stars in there, and the visuals look outstanding. And this movie has been in production for years. This movie was in production with a release date now, but it was in production in fucking 2010. Where's their compensation? They were in production before Wonder Woman 84 was being talked about. They were in production when the first one got released. I'd be pissed if I worked on Dune too. Kamikaze. I agree, I do get you with the recession point, but this is the way it's presented. And I like Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is a good guy, makes good films. He's excited, stoked, passion piece to return to the Matrix. And now everything's up in the air. And they don't know they're going to get compensated. Well, fuck it. If I don't get compensated for work, I'm not going to go to work. I don't work for free. Actors might be bigger than us. They might have limelight, but at the end of the day, they're workers. I boycott too. Fuck it. If I'm not going to get paid, then really going to work serves no purpose. It's unbelievable. This whole thing is unbelievable. And I had to bring it up today. I had to come to you live because they're killing an industry I love. Look, I know certain people have certain feelings about the theater, but I remember some of the fondest memories I have on a serious note is going to the theater with my father. It was the one thing that we did together that we had a great time with. There's something about the theater experience that is different, you know? You go there with your family, you got that smell, you got that popcorn, you got the theater smell, that rug, the carpet when you walk in, right? Something majestic about it. I understand and I completely agree with what Nolan says. It's not just about Nolan's a passionate director. The man's made small projects just because, and he's got money. He doesn't give a shit about it. Right now, he's on like almost James Cameron level of money. He's made upwards to near billions, right? So that's not the point he's making. I understand the point he's making. The point he's making is it's about the experience. It's something different about seeing the explosions, the stories come to life on the big screen. Since the fucking olden days when they had black and white, right? Remember the first color? The first colored picture was Superman with Christopher Reeves. And the first memory people have of that in color is Superman flying out of the atmosphere and looking at the earth with the S on his chest and his cape flowing. I mean, just like now, that doesn't sound like much, but just imagine people in the day who got color and that was what they saw. Think about how fucking amazing that was. It's culture. It's what's going on today. It's the sense of denying and robbing the cultural experience. Something that unifies us, something that transcends race, gender, and all of the other bullshit politics. I've seen even the saltiest people go into the theater and leave with a smile on their face. And that's what we're being robbed. And it's not just this, but I mean, just the way they're making films, the things they're saying, the way that messages are mean-spirited in films. It's destroying the industry. They have destroyed themselves, and now they're helping to continue that destruction, and they don't even realize it because they're so panicked. They don't want to trust in people's ability to put money back into the economy because the country goes through recessions, but we bounce back. We've been doing it since the fucking 50s. This is no different than any bump in American history. But now that someone's money is being affected, there's panic and rash decisions being made. And it's dumbing down and destroying experiences, right? Look, I love streaming as much as the next person. I love sitting in my house, nice and warm, not in my fucking cold vehicle, pissed off talking about this. But there's something about gathering with a group of friends and experiencing a movie, going back and talking about what you saw, going on YouTube and conveying to the world, is this a good movie? Is this not a good movie? Right? And these people are robbing that experience to a new generation. They're creating a generation that won't know what that experience is like. They'll be on their phones, they'll be on their fucking laptops, they'll be on their TVs, just sitting like drones. And true, in the theater, you do that, but it's different. It's like you're with a group and you all witness something and you come out of the theater and you hear people talking and you go, yeah, I agree, that fucking sucked, or that was good, right? This is the fundamental key it's the human element that's being taken out of everything by these fucking companies. It's the connection. For a progressive industry, they are resetting the human race back. They're resetting the most fundamental things that make us human, and that is the human connection. Through this bullshit with propping these people up and listening to these fucking pity parties, and through destroying and robbing the industry and these directors and writers and producers who are quite talented and creative. They are destroying an artistic form. It's the equivalent of burning a fucking painting. Movies are art. Some people make absolutely nothing just to get one project that they get the world to see and enjoy their vision. Some people do the shit not for money. You know how fucking poor you are as a director until you make it? I mean, Cameron, Burton, all of these guys, Spielberg, they were rooming with each other, eating fucking ramen noodles. But they never gave up, and they wanted to bring us amazing works of art. Could you picture fucking E.T. on your regular television screen? Or Jaws being shown, premiered on your laptop? Is this the kind of way we want to go? I mean, just picture Close Encounters of the Third Kind on your fucking TV as the first time you watch it. Or Jurassic Park. Can people honestly tell me that is how you picture The Dark Knight, right? The brilliance of Heath Ledger first being streamed on your TV. Yeah, you can get a surround sound, you can have all the fancy bells and whistles, but is it the same unless you're rich and you buy a fucking projector and put it in your fucking basement? Is it the same? Is it the same as watching the look on the guy next to you's face as you both gawk at something amazing you just witnessed, a piece of artistic expression? What about the powerhouse performance Joaquin Phoenix gave? What about some of those lines delivered, right? What about Apocalypse Now? What about Hunt for Red October? These are American movie classics. What about The Good, the Bad, and the Fucking Ugly? Classic Clint Eastwood. What about an Elvis movie? I don't know very many of them. What about you witnessing that on your fucking computer screen first. I mean, that's what like, look, I know we've been conditioned to stream, but really think about it. Think about the feel you're losing. Think about the magic you're losing. And this robs us yet again of human connections. It enslaves us more to devices. And I'm not guilty. I'm fucking streaming to you guys from my cell phone, okay? All right? In the fucking Phantom Mobile. I'm not necessarily saying that these aren't good things. Okay? They've made life easier. But we're losing an essential part of ourselves, and that's the human connection. And more these companies are trying to drive a wedge and enslave us to these different mediums so that we can give them money. Because they don't give a shit about us connecting or going with our friends. They care about us taking out our wallets and giving them money. That's it. That's what it comes down to. That's the bottom line, whether you like a company or not, whether you like the great and mighty Zack Snyder or you don't. At the end of the day, they all want the one thing that makes the world go around, and that's the green. Nor of a piece, I agree with you. SDS, welcome. Says kids today don't know what a drive in the theater is, so in time, future generations won't know what a cinema is. Exactly. I mean, this Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing and what's going on with Warner Bros., it's all connected. Because the company's doing something far worse. See, the plot is to get rid of the big actors because they want to put the B actors in. And Amber Heard's a fucking B actor. She's a fucking C actor. Okay? Because I'd put Scar Joe at like B level. You know, she ain't amazing, but all right. But you're promoting people like this because you want people like that because they'll be happy because of the shit they're going through with getting the check you give them. They're okay with that. And get rid of the Christopher Nolans, the Tim Burtons, the Steven Spielbergs. You can hire Christina Hodgins. Fucking Birds of Prey. Let's get more fucking directors like that. Why? Because they don't give a fuck about what they're writing. It's a platform for a political message, and they're cheap and easy to please, as long as the message is out there, right? That's what we've come down to. This is what society is declining into. The day when Eastwood is gone, when great actors are gone and buried, the Brad Pitts, the Leonardo DiCaprios, Depps, when they're gone, we're left with who? Who are we left with? Heard, Lawrence, Larson. These are the people who are taking the place of Sarandon, Helen Mirren, fucking Sandra Bullock. I'll give you Sandra Bullock. These are the people replacing those legacy actors. This is what we have. I never thought at my age right now I would see the destruction of something I love. And make no mistake, I cover Amber Heard. I cover what's happening with the WWE. I cover these things, but movies are close to my heart. Entertainment is something that I've connected with since I was fucking 10 years old, and I saw The Blob in theaters with Matt Dillon, and it scared the fuck out of me, and I wouldn't take a shower. That's right. I saw that Matt Dillon Blob, and it scared me. Rewatched it. It's terrible. But at that time, it scared a young Zod. Thought that shit was going to come up through the showers, man. But it was the magic of cinema. Seeing that big purple mess eating people and a girl getting sucked through a shower drain. That is horrifying at 10. And then I saw Aliens 3 later. Yeah, my dad caught a lot of flack from Mom. But it made me into a person who loves and appreciates cinema. I sat down with my dad and I watched Godfather, and I sat down and with my mom and I watched Donnie Brasco. I sat down with my dad as he goes, "Son, this is a great movie. You see this here? This is good, the bad, the ugly. It's an American movie classic." And you know the irony of this? I used to say, "Mom, Dad, this is old. What are we doing watching this, right?" And now I find myself watching those because what do we have now? We have a all-female Pirates coming out. We got Ghostbusters 2016, The Fast fucking Nine. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Hobbs and Shaw is entertainment, but is that gonna be great years to come? I mean, don't get me wrong, Idris Elba saying he's Black Superman is by far a fucking great line. But is that gonna go and be one of those lines like Fredo, you broke my heart? I know it was you. Or forget about it, right? Or Goodfellas? Any of those lines? Are any of these movies years from now? Are our kids even gonna fucking know any of these movies that are coming out? No, it's all disposable. For me, this Johnny Depp argument connects to a bigger thing. It connects to a bigger problem. Johnny is the first in the long line of people that I predict are going to be sacrificed, that are already being sacrificed. Joss Whedon's on that altar too, along with a lot of other actors and actresses, some for their political views, some for the fact that they are standing up to Hollywood. But Hollywood is going to lose this at the end because when everything goes to streaming, these services aren't going to need big studios. They can shoot this shit for cheap. They're not going to need big production companies. They're not going to need the Warner Bros. And the Disneys once things get off the ground. Well, Disney is smart. They own their own shit. Netflix beats them because Netflix sees the bigger picture. They can do what they do, and they can do it better. Look at some of the Netflix original movies. Entertaining as hell. Extraction, the 666, Highwaymen. You got some shitty movies in there, sure. But they understand because they get these big actors who are being shit on by Hollywood and they sign deals with them. And I really want Depp in Netflix because I think they treat him good. I think they treat him right. I think him and Burton need to go over there and do this Addams Family show. I think if Depp does this, him cutting ties with WB will be the best thing for him. They don't deserve good artists working for them. They don't deserve good directors. They don't deserve respect, and they don't deserve your money. They don't deserve you giving them a look at because they're really shitting on the fans too. They look at us as nothing more than an ATM. They don't respect what we like as entertainment. They don't respect who we like as entertainers. But they respect the shit out of our money. That's all they want. So this is my message to you. I'm done with WB. I have no interest in the Snyder Cut. Might see Wonder Woman, but I have no interest in the next Aquaman. And I'm not going to support a company that time after time again abuses and not only abuses its fans and disrespects their fans, but it abuses the people that are employed in their service. It abuses the people who makes them the money. There's a saying, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Well, when a dog is rabid, you got to put it down. And right now, that dog is rabidly biting all of the people that work for it. And eventually, it's going to be put down. I'm calling it. HBO Max might get its viewers, right? They're coasting off of the fame of HBO. HBO's got a good library. But it's just a matter of time before all of these streaming services competing, competition gets the best of them and they start dropping off. And everyone who says Netflix is in trouble, you're fucking nuts. They make 23 billion a year. They're not going anywhere and they've been at this for like 15 years. The other companies have to catch up to them. They're the big ones right now. And I really want to see these companies get swallowed up and have this investment hit them right back where it hurts, the wallet. So, I mean, I brought you articles, I brought you the facts. You guys do with that what you will. But this thing with Depp, this thing with Amber Heard, all of these things and these things with Chris Pratt and everything, it's all connected. It's all one giant scheme. It's all one giant plot. It's all from an evil, maniacal machine that's eating and destroying everything in its path. And eventually, it's going to destroy something more important than movies. It's going to destroy experience. And it sounds dramatic, I know. You're like, Zod, I mean, you're going tinfoil here. What do you mean? How can they destroy the human connection? Just think about it. These kids are on their phones and their fucking laptops and their iPads and their clouds and all this shit, right? They're all plugged in and hooked up, and no one's connecting with each other. We are quite literally creating our own dystopic future. I'm a huge fan of Blade Runner. I'm a huge fan of those kind of films as well. And it's scary because a lot of the shit that these directors, such as Ridley Scott and things we're talking about, is happening. It's happening right now. We are literally living through the beginnings of what a dystopic future is. Because when you think about it, the setting of Blade Runner is beautiful, right? Gorgeous. The city's gorgeous. But it's what's underneath that's horrendous. It's the disconnect between society. It's the disconnect between human interaction. And it's the greed and avarice of industry. That's what we're in right now. We are literally barreling head first towards everything that's been written. It's kind of creepy that most of these directors and writers and great sci-fi people have seen exactly where this leads. Look, I'm gonna have some people going streaming's the best, and good, you like to stream, but just if you came from where I came from, if you have love and passion for the theater experience, think about exactly what Warner Bros. And all these companies are doing. Think about what's happening. They are killing human connection. They are creating loyal consumers, enslaved to their devices and them for cash. The only way to stop this is to support the cinema experience, to support the actors, to support the people getting fucked. Hey, Jamie Vick, good to see you. We're talking about dystopic futures and how Warner is quickly creating one. This is all happening. The theater experience, the human connection is being ruined, and these companies are finding a new way to profit, and they're going to profit off of the younger generation's need to always be hooked in. That's their new revenue stream. And Warner Bros. Is diving head into it. And it's sad. I never thought I'd see the day when something like this would happen. It took me years to get into the theater industry to be able to usher, right? I had another job. I did it for fucking fun. Don't get paid a lot to close the theater and open it up, but I loved it. I love the experience. I love seeing people and their reactions to movies. I love talking to them coming out of a movie and sharing that feeling that they got. The families bonding. The little kids amazed that they saw Frozen, and I fucking hate Frozen. I hate Frozen 2. Worst movie ever. But I loved seeing the look on kids' faces when they witness what I witnessed when I was a kid, the magic of moving pictures on a big screen. And we're killing it. We're destroying it. Just think. Think about the day you wake up and theaters are gone. They're fucking done. They're gone. Maybe you have a few. It's like a legend, right? It's like fucking Demolition Man. That's what Demolition Man, Blade Runner, all these dystopic future movies called it. That's what we're going to. We're going to have a fucking museum that's going to talk about this thing called the theater. How people used to gather around in these rooms and watch movies on a big screen. Think about how fucking scary that thought is. That terrifies me. It's changed reviewing. It's changed how I view shows and how I rate them. It's changed how I YouTube. But hey, I'm just a guy in a car, or rather a villain in a car, talking to you guys. Hopefully you got something out of this. But I'm going to tell you right now, me and Warner Bros., we're on thin ice. I never thought I'd see the day when I would be so devastated by what a product is doing that I would turn my back on it. Happened to Star Wars, it happened to Game of Thrones, and now it's happening to DC. Everything that I know and love, they're systematically destroying. My very childhood, shit I grew up with, my memories. This is personal because the things that I love, I'm watching die before me. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I don't know if you guys got that kind of connection that I do. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Feeling tired. I came off of a third shift. I gotta go and get some sleep. Contemplate the death of film as we know it. Thank you everybody for watching. Go ahead, retweet this video. Let people know. And please, don't give these companies your money. Despite what you like, they don't care about giving you the best product they can give you. They don't care about entertaining you the best way that they can. They just want your money because their money is being hit. And they don't deserve our money for giving us what we don't want or for destroying things that we love. They just don't. They don't deserve our money for destroying things for our kids and our kids' kids. The only way it's going to change is if we don't pay for it, if we don't endorse it. That's the only way they're going to see that it's wrong, what they're doing. It's terrible. It's horrendous. It's every other word that you could possibly think of. Anyways, I know it's a bit of a somber note, but this has been General Zod here in the Fandom Zone. And as always, you remember the only rule here: kneel before General Zod. Have a good morning.